Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Hope everyone out there is having a good day. Y'all make sure you guys watch from start to finish. That really helps the channel grow. But with that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
There's a billionaire out there by the name of Peter Nygaard, which they're calling him the Canadian Epstein. Now, this is why he's a little bit different, though, as far as we know. What he would do is he would impregnate just so he could extract the stem cells from the fetus and inject it to himself to help preserve his health and longevity, his youth.
Whoa.
Like that. That's some other shit.
That's some other shit.
You know, he has his own island and jet and everything. Right.
Oh, yeah, he ain't nothing but
like you said, Brian, Jeff Epstein is the tip of the iceberg. Like, he's not the only one with a pedo ring. He's not the only one with islands and shit. There's thousands of islands you don't know about.
That's what I'm saying.
Right now. The Revolutionary War took place from roughly 1775 to 1783. 80 to 85 years later, the Civil War took place from 1861 to 1865. 80 to 85 years later, World War II took place for America from 1941 until 1945. 80 to 85 years later lands us smack right between 2020 and 2026, which is right where we are. Okay. This happens over and over and over again. And each thing,
see where he's going with that.
You're living in a damn fishbowl, man. It's a fish tank. Airplane is damn near like a submarine, because when you look at air and what really air is nothing but less dense water.
That's what I'm saying, y'all.
It's less dense water. I used to work in basements, right? And I used to get mold out of basements and stuff. And it can be a completely beautiful house, no water at all in the area, but mold used to build up on the walls, and the walls used to sweat. And we used to wonder where the water was coming from the walls. What was happening was the air was getting too humid. And from this humid air, it produced water. And this water then created the fungus and the mold.
I want everyone at home to also understand 99% of them have sold their soul. And you need to sit as a human at home and say, am I going to idolize someone? Am I going to support someone? Am I going to respect someone who has sold their soul to the devil, who will tell my children bad ideas, who will ruin my family because I like their music? I mean, they don't care about you. Do you care about them? Please understand, all of the artists you listen to, all those people on Spotify, all those actors you like, all those sports stars, all those Instagram influencers, all those garbage people you follow have sold their souls. All of them. All. And they have done it for their own personal gain, so they can make millions, and they don't care how they damage society by extension. And you are society. So they have decided to damage you to benefit them. Why are you following them? Why are you going to their football games? Why are you watching their music videos? Why are you going to their concerts? Why are you supporting the people who have sold you out? Because they all have. I want to make this, I'm saying this now. I'm the only one they're putting in jail. I'm the only one they're putting in jail. They've all sold you out. If I would have taken that contract, I would have never gone to jail. I would never be labeled a human trafficker. I would never have the bad press. I'd have 50 million extra pounds. I would not have lost 25 million in legal fees so far. My life would be objectively better. My children would be safer. My women wouldn't have their houses raided. All of that, if only I had taken the money. But I didn't.
Y'all hear about the 13-foot alligator that was caught walking down the street with a human torso in its mouth? Yes, and it's happened in Clearwater, Florida. Like I always say, everybody literally thought that it was a normal day. Now in Florida, you know it's common to see these alligators, so nobody thought anything of it. Then this resident in Clearwater sees this huge alligator, about 13 by 8 long. She sees the alligator dragging something throughout the neighborhood. First, she thought it was like a mannequin from like a random store or something that got thrown out, like, you know, like trash. As the resident got closer to the alligator, she saw that it was actually a human body parts in the alligator's mouth. Yes, it was a torso. That body part belonged to 41-year-old Sabrina Peckham. Sabrina was homeless at the time, and she was living in a makeshift tent in a wooded area near the water. Investigators believe that the alligator attacked her while she was near the canal and dragged her in deep. Sabrina's family filed for a wrongful unaliving lawsuit. They said that everyone knows that the canal is not safe, but yet they don't have proper fencing or anything. The thing is, yes, okay, but also, why was this woman living inside a makeshift tent along the canal? Y'all can come together when she's unalive and try to file a lawsuit. Why was she homeless? Why was she not living with one of y'all? You see how this could have been avoided? I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I feel like family and homeless don't go in the same sentence. Like, as long as you have people around you that love you, you should have a roof over your head. Alligator was eventually euthanized, and her unaliving was definitely ruled from this attack from this alligator. I want to send my condolences to Sabrina Peckham, though, because it's a very unfortunate situation. Like, you were going through homelessness at the time, and then you're attacked by a wild animal. Like, I cannot imagine what was going through your mind in your last moment. Let me know what y'all think about the situation in the comment.
If you sign up for their program, you get a light-skinned, weird-faced wife that never do an interview. Listen, in 20 years, won't do an interview. Nobody's ever talked to her, and she's never been interviewed anywhere. And now, understand, I'm not talking about one person. What I just told you applies to 7 people. How they all end up with that. That's part of what you get. I came in this business saying I was going to expose.
Get another one?
You gonna go
Have
find
another one?
Thank you.
This is crazy. I wonder if she gonna come back for
She's
sure.
coming back. She's still right here. Hold on. The other one went that way though. I can't see no more. Wait, she right here. There she go. Thank you.
When you say Mexican mafia, you're not referring to the cartel. You're referring to something else, right?
I'm referring to the MA, the Mexican mafia that runs the California prison system and runs Southern California. They run all the gangs in Southern California.
Got it.
And they have a very unique system. You have to pay homage to them. You got to pay a tax. If you're a street gang in Los Angeles, if you're a Sereno, as they identify with, if you're a Sereno and you're not paying street tax to the MA, you're going to have a problem.
Regardless of race, or just like Latino gangs have to pay to them?
Latino gangs.
Okay. All right. So you weren't paying a tax to them?
No, I didn't have to pay a tax. But
Got it.
they came to me and said, a former associate of mine, had a $10,000 drug bill that he kind of rung up, and they were going to kill him unless, of course, I wanted to pay the bill. And, I said, no, I don't think I want to invest $10,000 in that gentleman. And they go, well, we're going to kill him. And over the course of the following 3 weeks, I had probably 19 conversations with them. They had 2 of the conversations taped. They said the tape machine wasn't working on the other taped conversations. They thought they were taping them, but they weren't. I mean, that's total.
Right.
But I wound up getting indicted by the FBI. Went to this is before they had the the Metropolitan Holding Center. I went to Terminal Island. It was actual prison. And if you had a beef in Southern California, in Los Angeles area, you went to the Terminal Island prison and they housed you there. You did your case there. You drove into court every day. Then, however your case was resolved, either went home or they sent you on your way down the line. Yeah. In the old gray goose, I guess they called it. Yeah. Have you been on the Grey Goose?
I've not.
Never had the pleasure?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I want the pleasure.
Yeah, you probably, that's probably a good choice.
Yeah, I'm avoiding asking some questions on this too, because I want to leave people hanging so that they understand the context of the story as we go along. Because obviously this was a big, in '86, like you said, huge. First time, and it's
it was all over the papers. It was on CNN. It was in the paper. CNN was a fledgling station, and I'll tell you.
Yep, to all y'all iPhone users out there, check this out. Yo, he's literally about to turn on the flash and watch. Okay, the new iPhone is good. Okay, but check this out. Now they're about to do the same test, and this is overseas too. On the exact, look, Ultra, a Samsung 24 Ultra. Yes, the new one. Look, watch this. It was like a missile. Look, it shot through the plastic. The flash is that powerful.
Yo, imagine what I could do to your skin. Like, this is crazy. Like, it's like a little mini pistol. Like, what? The rays is that strong? Oh my god. Yo.
I'm in Jordan, and today I'm going to swim in the sea where you can't sink. It's impossible to sink in this sea. It's called the Dead Sea. Apparently it's 10 times saltier than the normal sea. Like, look at all this. This is all salt on the floor. Rock solid salt. I'm going to go in the Dead Sea because apparently when you're in there you just float. So let's put it to the test. That is mental. Look at my body. That is crazy. I'm just floating. It's effortless. You just literally have to lie down and you start to float. I think the water's so dense, if that's right, so it keeps you above the water. It's like I'm lying on like a lilo or something. I'm gonna try and stand up. This is mad. Look at my legs. Look at my legs. Try to stand up and you just flip me onto my stomach. That's mad.
Right? And everybody understand it, but the pyramids ain't what you think, because under the pyramids was all water, and water is conscious, right? And a lot of times people thought that the pyramids, and they was wrapping up the mummies for no reason. I'm gonna tell you why they wrapped them up. I'm gonna tell you here. Let me tell you this. Did you know this? And I say this all the time, and I even say don't say cheese. Did you know if I take an apple and I put an apple in a box, right? After about 1,000 years, the apple gonna, it's gonna rot, turn to dust. But after a million years, the scientists proved this. Once that apple was in that box, come to all the different possibilities it can be. It's gonna turn to ass, gases, the protons, everything gonna mix. It's gonna turn back to the apple. Right. Everything is stuck on this prison, right? I'm keeping it real, right? And this type of shit people know. But this what the Egyptians knew. So why do you think they wrapped up them bodies and kept them all intact? And why do you think now they split your body and take everything out your body? And when they bury you, you ain't got nothing in your body. Because if they didn't do that, we'd be living in the Walking Dead. I'm just keeping it real.
If you ever get lost at sea and spot this flag marker, then you've sealed your own fate, because this marker only exists in one place on Earth, Point Nemo. And it's not because of sharks or any other threat like that.
Freaking shark.
If you make it here, you won't ever see another living sea creature again. This is the most remote spot on the entire planet. At Point Nemo, the closest human to you is actually orbiting aboard the International Space Station. That's how far you are from everything. Point Nemo is so isolated that it's officially used as a graveyard for satellites. You might think, well, I'll just swim until I find land. The nearest land is an uninhabited island. It's completely empty most of the year and sits a staggering 1,670 miles away. Even if you were an Olympic athlete able to swim nonstop without rest or fatigue, it would still take you at least 33 days of continuous swimming just to reach it. And that's not all. Point Nemo is also home to some of the most violent storm and ocean conditions in the world.
So just a few days ago on this beach in Mexico, this lady saw not one but 2 oarfish washed up on the shore. And they were still alive. They were like slithering and jumping around. Those of you that know what their nickname is realize why this is alarming, because their nickname is Doomsday fish, as it seems like they appear before big disasters like earthquakes or tsunamis or other large-scale disastrous events. And to see 2 of them at the same time washed up is so rare, it's almost unheard of. Since these fish look so weird, bystanders were scared to touch it at first, but eventually they ended up pushing it back into the ocean. But these fish can live at the depth of like 3,000 feet deep, so the likeliness of this fish surviving after being pushed back into the water is highly unlikely, as they probably already swam up because they were dying or injured or sick, and just the pressure change of them coming up to the surface can cause fatal damage to their bodies. Also, officially, scientists say there's no evidence that link their sightings to natural disasters, because nobody ever sees them ever. Several oarfish actually did wash up on shore shortly before the 2011 earthquake in Japan, so I feel like that kind of correlates. Anyways, who caught one in Animal Crossing? I know I did.
He made a deal with who?
We had to improve our military. Our military was depleted. Pray God we don't have to use it. But there will be nothing like what we have. And there is nothing like what we have. And that's why I did that. I made deals with the devil in order to get that done.
It's just a metaphor, right? Just means he sacrificed a lot to get our military where it is. The man did already claim the closest he's getting to heaven is flying in the Air Force One.
You talked about how you hope to end the war in Ukraine because it might help you get into heaven. I'm being
A little cute. I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven. Okay, I really don't. I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly in Air Force One. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make heaven.
Say what you want, but I can't trust somebody who claims they're not getting into heaven. He didn't say he doesn't believe in it. He just says that he's not heaven bound. What does that even mean?
I mean, that's not even something to joke about. You know, I don't even joke about that type of stuff. But to joke like that, there's always a little bit of truth in each joke, they say too, right?
Oh, I thought we were like gonna. I thought our taxes. I thought like the cost of groceries is gonna go down. No, we're ending the world. We realized we couldn't do any of that. Let's be honest. You think your groceries are going? The price of a house is never coming down.
That's what I said.
We're ending the world. I mean, it's pretty simple. There's zero way you're ever going to afford a house. Let's rapture you all.
You ever heard of this platform called 4chan? There's this whistleblower that mentions your name. And he goes, really? And I go, yeah. And then I caught myself saying this, and I'm like, God, I should have said that. It was, he goes, what'd he say? And I go, he basically said, well, he talked about 115, that they would extract the 115. The people, there was like 4 teams. He was on team 2. Team 1 would extract the bodies in the 115. Team 2 would like rip out whatever the loose parts were. And team 3 and 4 dealt with the bulk of the craft. He said that there was 115, and somebody asked about Lou Elizondo and Greer in the questions, and he goes, I don't know any of these people, but one person you did name is Bob Lazar. And in fact, if you mentioned his name, they would take you out back and put you down like a dog. I told this to Bob, and immediately upon telling him, I regretted telling him, because what a terrible thing to tell someone.
Right.
But I was just so excited to talk to him and like to tell him this thing. And, you know, in my head, even though I'm high conviction, there's a part of me that's like, oh, this is lore.
Right. It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I say this, and I see him completely like debalanced, like put his hand on the desk and go, oh shit. Like he had this realization, like, ooh, and the energy completely shifted is all I can say. In that moment for me was one of the strongest pieces of holy shit, this is real. This is real for him. This is very real. And again, I'm incredibly high conviction on Bob. In fact, I would go to bat for Bob any day that he did work on this program. And that what he's saying is true. But it wasn't until that moment where I saw this human being, and it was just him and I, no one else around, no one to perform for, or no lies. And it was so off-putting that he lost footing for a second.
We've heard these stories about the Jacques Cousteau. Obviously, you know who he is. They say that Jacques Cousteau went to Lake Tahoe and took his like submarine and dove there, and he came back up and said the world isn't ready for what is down there.
Go back into the 70s, maybe 80s, early 80s. Jacques Cousteau was in California, had his boat out there. They were looking for a cook, and they're like, "Oh, you sound perfect. Come on out." But yeah, he has been there, and I don't know that I heard the phrase, the world isn't ready for it yet. He wasn't ready to continue is what I heard. Because he wasn't going to go back there. He was not ready to go do more.
Right. And so then I think somebody, I can't remember what publication, reached out to his foundation now that he's gone. And they said, no, we don't, he's never been there. We have no history of that. And so I'm like, who is gatekeeping that information and why?
He says, at least in the ocean, you've got enough room for him to get away. Most animals don't want to be caught. Right. But now, why would he even make that commentary unless he had been in a place that had less area for something to get away? You get it cornered, and what does any animal do? Full-blown predator. Yeah. It's going to battle for its life.
Girls are the hardest. Girls are the hardest because they're a little more manipulative. They're smarter. The child inside the womb, the moment that the woman's body recognizes the little girl, about 3 months of gestation, it floods it with estrogen. And so it causes these connections between the left and right hemisphere, almost 3 to 5 times the connections from what I've read that men have. Men have this myopic thing, see this, go and do it. But girls contemplate everything. So the girls are so much smarter naturally than the men, and they learn how to manipulate. You know, they learn to cry, they learn the smiles, they learn all of that. And then they're gullible because they think they mastered men by mastering manipulated daddy. And they go out and they try and do that into the world. So letting my 2 older daughters go, I watch my daughters now and I'm scared to death because of the karma. Because I know the things that I did to women when I was growing up, stuff I wouldn't want somebody doing to my daughter.
In 2014, Sony Pictures was putting out a movie called The Interview, and it was a spoof on the assassination of Kim Jong-un. Obviously, the regime did not want this to go out, so they decided to hack Sony Pictures. They leaked parts of new films that had yet to come out, saying to everyone, do not show this film. A bunch of theaters said, nope, we are not going to air this film. Sony actually had to pony up and actually apologize to the North Korean regime. From North Korea's point of view, this wasn't just about revenge. It was to show that they could reach into an American corporation, they could disrupt operations, and they really could make a direct impact on U.S. citizens on U.S. soil.
They believe that we are literally here on Earth as a prison planet. This is the prison planet for the Galactic Confederacy. And that every time we drop our body, we are programmed spiritually to report into the Between Lives implant stations run by the evil alien psychiatrists. And that's where they wipe our memories of our previous life and shoot us back down to Earth into a new baby body to live a new lifetime, but without any memory of your previous life.
A huge leak just came out 5 hours ago exposing over 1,000 government surveillance projects that they were trying to keep hidden from you. Let me expose some of the craziest ones. So number one, they're building software that can track you across cameras in completely different areas, even if your face is hidden. Number two, they're adding software to cameras that does predictive policing and can look at a crowd and threat assess individual people based off their actions so they can see if you're a high-level threat, even if you haven't done anything, and pay more attention to you. Number three, they now have a database of over 50 billion images scraped from the web that allows them to recognize basically any American citizen from a blurry image. I feel like a couple books or movies might have warned us about this.
Anytime NASA is mentioned, I know it's about to be some bullshit. So in the 1960s, NASA literally funded an experiment to teach dolphins how to speak English. You heard what I just said? This was during the Cold War, the space race era. NASA was thinking, if we ever meet aliens, we need to know how to communicate with non-humans first. So they backed neuroscientist John C. Lilly, and he picked dolphins because their brains was huge. So they built this flooded house lab in the Virgin Islands. Researcher named Margaret Howe moved in. She lived with a dolphin named Peter. Not visiting, she lived with a dolphin named Peter. So basically, she was trying to teach him human sounds, repetition, audio drills, phonetics. Yes, LSD was used in some dolphin experiments at the time. They said they used that because this was the 60s and everybody thought psychedelics unlocked consciousness. Now here's where this shit gets crazy. Peter the dolphin got sexually frustrated. We all know that dolphins are highly sexual animals. That's documented. Margaret, the lady that was staying there, the lady that was living there, later admitted that she relieved him manually to keep him focused on the language work. You heard what I just said? She relieved him. He was sexually frustrated and she relieved him. Basically, when they found that out, they ended the study. Peter was moved to a small tank in Miami, away from Margaret. No more house, no more interaction, no more anything. Back to being a regular dolphin. Shortly after that, he committed. And this was funded by NASA. NASA.
We did a deep dive on this. You guys showed some good love over there, y'all. It's on my second channel down below. Deep dive on that. Some dark things went down with them dolphins.
Thing for any human, let alone a kid, is not to spend time outside, a lot of time outside. The more time you spend outside, the more your spirit and your mind get to wander and understand things better, and you have a deeper connection with everything. So the more time you spend indoors, it's not healthy. You're not getting the sun, you're not getting the air, maybe you're playing more video games, or you're scrolling through screens, and now the screens are showing you really dark, creepy, sexual images, and then And that's when your mind starts going, especially if you're going through a certain stage and now you're confused about your gender and now you're confused about your sexuality because you're seeing things that was not meant for a child to see or a young human being to see or even an adult. It's all great dehumanizing.
You know, I say this all the time. Like these kids that are 10 years old, home on spring break right now alone with these things, have the same access that I have at my age. We could be watching the same things. That's not good, y'all. Right? That's not good. At the palm of your hand, back in the day, we had to sneak it. We had to go in the backyard and hide. We had, on a magazine or something when I was a little boy, right? If my friends, had it or whatever. Now, you don't got to leave your bedroom. They got the same access we have as adults. It's not a good recipe, y'all.
Not only are the gas prices high, but this gas is burning fast as shit.
I have noticed that.
Slick? Like I can tell, my gas is going fucking way faster than it ever has before. And you gonna charge motherfucker almost $4 a gallon?
When they said I was a clone, that made me flip in the hospital. That's it. These motherfuckers are trying to clone me. I didn't have a stroke. So I'm sitting in the hospital bed like this. And then I saw me walk into my room. But I'm white. So I see the white me. But he had a Caesar too? Just like all that. The white me. Okay, gotcha. And I'm like, I'm trying to get their attention. And no one said anything. And I'm like, that's it.
I'm sure there's nothing to see there. I'm sure Jamie Foxx was just being sarcastic. He was just joking about how they tried to clone him, right? But there are a lot of weird things. For instance, where did his head tattoo go? And you've got to admit that he looked very different when he got out of the hospital. I guess that's why he starred in a movie like this right here, because he was telling you truth in plain sight. Or even the fact that he starred in a movie like this, and look at this poster right here. A coffin shape, I mean, come on. But again, I guess Jamie Foxx was just joking in that clip because again, that's what he does. It's good to see that he's doing so good. What do you think about this? It's always truth in plain sight. Wake up.
You buy the house, but you pay for the land. Ain't the house on the land? So that means I'm just a renter. Even if I own the house, I'm just renting. I'm renting your land. My house, when I signed the deed to my house, I came out one day and they was digging on my lawn, putting in the little green box.
Yeah.
So I come outside my door. This what happened. I got my slug scissor with me. You see what I'm saying? I said, I'm excuse my robe. Excuse me. What the fuck is y'all doing? We putting in this here. Who gave you permission to put it? Oh, this is a city property. I said, well, the city ain't helped me paying for this damn house. The damn ain't helped me paying this $250,000 mortgage. You know what I mean? Watch this here. From the street all the way up to 6 feet on my property, you tell me you own. But yet and still, if I don't cut this little path right here between the pavement and the street, you'll find me. You say that's yours, but I gotta maintain it. So when I finish my house, I'm gonna take this little piece of paper they gave me that's supposed to be a deed, which is not, and get it transferred over to that land of mine. Now, this is my land and my house, because you notice, you buy the house, but you pay for the land. Ain't the house on the land? So that means I'm just a renter, even if I own the house. I'm just renting. I'm renting your land.
Yeah.
No, all that's going to be mine. Know your shit. That's how they get you, man. I shit you not. Say.
I mean, even if you, I thought the clip was over. Sorry, y'all. Even if you buy a land and put a house on it, you still got to pay property taxes. But I know in my front yard, when I bought this house, they told me, like, my realtor was telling me, like, say if you want to put, synthetic grass in the front, right here at the front, and, the city's got to do something, they can come dig that up because that's part of the city, I guess, right? So it's, like he said, they're not helping me pay this $250,000 mortgage. Not helping me pay this payment. But when they want to come tear your yard up, they can come tear your yard up, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
All this was yours. right? There's no houses or nothing on this here. All this is yours. And the government wanted to come in and do some things, and whatever the case may be. They will claim eminent domain. You know what that means, right? They can just take your shit. How? It's real sweet.
I mean, even if you had, let's just say 5 acres, and they come to you and say, we want to build a highway here, we'll give you, let's just say $10 million. And you say, no, this is my land. I'm not selling it. I don't care how much you get. You know what they're going to do? They're going to flood it. They're going to make your life a living hell until one day you pick up the phone. They're going to burn that down, right? Until one day you pick up that phone and be like, hey, you guys still got that 10 million? Like, you know what I mean? We're going to give you 5 million now. We'll give you $1 million, right? Because we already know we got you where we want you. But that's the games they play. They'll flood a whole city, right? Just to get their minerals or whatever and make you move out. And then they'll take away the home insurance that covers flooding, that part of the home insurance. We don't cover flooding no more. And then magically a year later, there's a massive flood. Then you're forced to move out. And then 5 years later, there's a highway going through there.
I deliver Amazon. These is real packages. This is the second time I've been to the house. Look, nothing is out of these. All these packages is full. Whatever we deliver, they in the package. It says to the front door. I can't get to the front door. I don't know if somebody covering up some murder or something. But look, all of them is everything we deliver. Look, it's still in the box. What the fuck is going on, man? If I come back here and it's like this again, I'm gonna start to wonder: is it something going on? Like, is somebody covering a murder up?
Thought that a long time
is somebody
ago.
really living in this place? All packages. I can't even make it. I'm gonna take it to the steps like I did before. It's close and leave it at that, man. But this is a scary spot that you need your weapon in when you deliver, for sure.
I think if I worked for Amazon by then, I think I would have been talking to the supervisor like, I need this stop off my list. I'm tired of taking boxes and they just sit out here, right? Take this off my route because this is ridiculous. Let me take some pictures for you and show you. I wouldn't just keep delivering and delivering there. I think you got to get the point. Maybe nobody lives there. After all those boxes are out there, I think you got to get the point. Like, hey, I don't think anyone lives here to take these packs. I think you got the wrong address.
This out, guys. I'm over here in ShopRite, right? And I see the new Bible. I see that everybody been going crazy for, right? Check this out.
I never heard of this.
You gotta be aware of what you're eating. Okay, so first and foremost, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is expired. But now let's get down to the gritty. In the back of these, they got this
peach flavored ice cream.
Peel this back.
You put a sticker on that?
Be careful what you're consuming.
It's my all-time favorite slasher horror movie, Texas Chainsaw. I remember I went and watched the one with Jessica Biel with my dad. And then after, we went and played some racquetball in Tolleson, y'all. Anybody familiar with Tolleson? We used to play racquetball out there. Pete's, too. Got some Pete's fish and chips right after. I don't think that's the actual house, is it? I think that's where they filmed it, yeah? Or is that the actual house? I mean, that looks creepy.
So, we're not going to discuss that there is a name of every city, state, or country that is a man-made island in Dubai called the World Islands. If you don't believe me, check this out. The world. I lost it when I seen this. Look at this. Ethiopia, Nicaragua, Spain, Italy, France, Australia, United Kingdom, Ireland, New York, Georgia, the Carolina, Virginia, Ohio. All of these are islands. New Mexico, Wyoming. Look at this.
I wonder if they got the cities in there too.
Has anybody ever been there? Why don't we know more about this? New Mexico, Texas. Like, this is just crazy and kind of spooky. Beijing.
Mount Everest.
Japan. Japan is even shaped kind of like Japan. Wow. This is kind of spooky. Did y'all ever know about this?
The amount of stuff that's going into the ground these days. Like, here's a good random one over in Loveland at a horse farm. We're going to hydro excavate around a tree stump because they got gas lines that's been running through it, and they can't rip the tree stump out without damaging the lines that are all surrounded by the roots. So that's like one of your, you wouldn't think you'd use a hydrovac for. So we'll come in and just expose the whole stump of the tree, all the roots in the ground, so they can safely cut and then remove the stump out of the ground.
Okay, guys, something pretty crazy just happened today that you should all probably at least know about, because you're going to be hearing about this in the next few days. So the head of America's counterterrorism, Joe Kent, just resigned in protest because of this war. And just wait till you hear what he said. Quote, Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, which is obviously the exact opposite of what Trump said when he launched this war. And it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. Now, obviously, he's not the first person to have this opinion, but what makes this so significant is that when someone with his background says this, boy, do people listen. Now, he is not only former Special Forces, CIA veteran, and longtime supporter of Trump. So people are not just accusing him of, not liking Trump, but also his position as the head of the country's counterterrorism center makes him someone who has had access to all sorts of classified information on exactly whether or not Iran did pose an immediate threat to the United States. And the White House have already come out and dismissed this resignation letter, saying that Trump had compelling evidence that Iran was going to attack the US first. And then Trump said when he saw the resignation letter, he thought, quote, it was a good thing that he's out.
See, like, that's why the conspiracy of nuclear bombs don't exists, right? Because they just use that for an excuse to do this big war when they didn't even have an imminent threat towards us. I mean, did they? Do you think they did? Did they have a threat to the American people? Now, whether they were treating their people bad, whether they were doing this, whether they're doing that around the world, did they have an imminent threat to us? Because our people are dying over this, right? Our soldiers are going over there for what? I mean, we saw what happened with the war on terror, right? What came from that? The Afghanistan withdrawal. Coming out later in Iraq saying there was never no weapons of mass destruction, right? But we were all for that one, right? We were for that one because of 9/11, the climate, all that. The majority I'm speaking of, I was 10, 11 years old. I didn't know what was going on, but the majority of people wanted that, right? When George Bush came out at World Trade Center, the people that did this over wherever they're at can hear you guys right now, right? We wanted it. There's American flags everywhere. Everywhere was American flags on cars, everywhere. But this time, we're not falling for it. But guess what? There's nothing we can do about it, y'all. There's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing. There's this people over here that are for it. There's these people over here that are against it. And once again, nothing gets done. Raising gas prices, like, we're paying the consequences of this. We are.
Homeboy Keske is here. He brought us gifts from New Zealand, and we just got the biggest culture shock in the world. Now, here is a chocolate sold in the U.S. These are the ingredients: milk chocolate.
Way too much.
Dry liqueur, dry cream, cocoa butter, all these ingredients, all these chemicals, and then now we have some New Zealand chocolate.
Two chemicals.
Chocolate, milk, and
cocoa
vanilla.
Butter, vanilla.
And then it gets better. Wait, let's look at the cookies from New Zealand. Has flour, dark chocolate, butter, brown sugar, eggs, and some salt.
Then he proceeded to show another, Hershey's Reese's bar. Come on, bro. The Hershey Company, bro. I'm pretty sure y'all seen this picture before. What's going on? You feel me? Why is it to the point where, why can't we just get tomatoes, vinegar, sugar, salt, spice, herb, and extract spice? What is natural flavoring?
So ridiculous.
Here's another picture. Ridiculous. Nah, it's not to say that these are the healthiest, because it still got stuff here too, but...
No, but it's a lot more,
At least we ain't getting hit with red 40.
Yeah.
They always show you who they are. This is Jack O'Connell at the Oscars wearing fangs. It's not Halloween or anything like that, so why would he want to wear fangs? unless this
Those
is
look
his
legit.
true self. I really don't know what is going on here, but this is very bizarre because every single time they show you exactly what they are about. They show you exactly who they are, and this is no different with Jack O'Connell and the Oscars, because every single time they show you who they are. They show you who they serve. And guess what? They serve the devil. They serve Satan. So, again, it's no surprise at all that he chose to wear these things. Or could this be who he really is? If you know, you know.
Red Bull.
It's
Yeah,
the
that makes
third
sense.
largest beverage company on Earth.
What else does it sell? What else does it own besides Red Bull?
Nothing.
Because I know a lot of
Nothing.
Red Bull. Just
It's
Red Bull.
just Red Bull, Rich.
That
It's
makes
just they sold 14 billion cans of Red Bull last year.
At $2 to $3 a can.
No,
just
hold
think
on.
about that.
It costs 9 cents to manufacture a can of Red Bull, and they're selling them for on average $4 a can. They did
even the small.
Where the fuck is my numbers?
He's got a binder. Those of you
I
that can't
swear-
see this, he has a binder.
Bro, I ended up doing the math just on the amount of aluminum it was. It was like 880 million pounds of aluminum just in Red Bull cans. In tonnage, Red Bull produces more Red Bull cans worth of aluminum than the weight of all 4 Iowa-class battleships combined every fucking year. And because
Why isn't it making battleships?
Did you know that a lot of people don't understand that even when they do blood transfusion is one thing, but what if I told you they taking bodies, right? They got a soul, and they swapping that soul and putting it in another body. What if I told you that? You talk about a blood transfusion. What if I told that you can take your soul and just put it in another shell and continue to live?
I would think that's kind of what they lead to in the future, but I'm
not doing it right. What the fuck? Ain't no future. Everything's happening right now.
You think they really got to
What do you mean? I think I know they're doing it right now.
It's been
proven.
happening.
Is that the same as like cloning or cloning people, or what do you mean?
Listen, cloning. Listen,
what's the difference?
Listen, when you cloning somebody, you're just cloning their body. You're trying to you cloning their muscle, they look alike, their presence, who they, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. But when you actually transfer their soul, you transfer the essence of that person, right? That's who that person is, right? Besides who they are this time, that's the key to who they are. And you can transfer that to from one person to the next. Right?
Yeah. I just saw a video saying, look up your car vehicle's crash test. It'll make you drive a lot safer. I drive a 2020 Super Duber X, and I just seen the video of the crash test. I'm not gonna lie, I will survive that crash test. And you gotta give Subaru its props, because this car, the Super Duber X, is not, a big car. It's not a huge vehicle. It's about the same size, maybe a little bigger than the Honda Civic. I drive safe regardless, but that gives me confidence that if I get in an accident, this car will protect me. And just out of curiosity, because I'm a car enthusiast and I love cars, I looked up other cars crash tests, and oh my goodness, I know a lot of people will not survive those crashes, man. It kind of gives you a different perspective. Like, don't just buy a car how the way it looks or how the way it drives, but also look at the crash test, because you might not make it back from an accident. Also, that is a reason why I bought the Super Duber X, because I have a daughter and I saw the crash test and I thought it was pretty decent.
Check this out. It goes to show people be so oblivious to what's going on around them. We ain't never had no smiley face moon. Look up the moon chart. Look at the phases of the moon. We ain't never had a smiley face moon. We ain't never had the crescent look like a smiley face ever. That's not even on the chart. People be so fucking oblivious, bro.
So, what have we here?
They're all over my skies right now. I went outside to throw the trash, looked up, everywhere out there right now. And we're at record heat temperatures, June temperatures right now.
You heard that motherfucker say hello, and y'all thought it probably was that lady. Nope. She seen what the fuck she saw and got out that gym.
What?
And it turned into a dog. This is a real video on a ring cam on phonograph. Shit is crazy out here.
It's always a good time to talk about the Denver airport conspiracies, so strap in. First of all, a lot of these conspiracies have stemmed out of the fact that Denver is larger than Manhattan. I mean, it's 55 square miles in terms of land. Like, that's how much land they own. Manhattan, 22 square miles. So that means Denver could swallow 2 Manhattans. The fact that it's so huge makes the internet go crazy for it. Why do they need so much space? And a lot of the theories stem from the art, because the art is freaky. This is something I didn't know, but Denver has a rule that 1% of public construction budgets must go towards the art. When you think about building a multi-billion-dollar airport and 1% of that is going towards art, you're going to have a lot of art. Specifically, a glowing demon horse that's naturally blue and has laser beam eyes. Blue Mustang is a 32-foot horse that naturally the artist Luis Jimenez died while constructing it. It literally fell on top of him. Of course, this cursed horse has become the star of every conspiracy out there. But that's just outside the airport. You go inside and things get kind of philosophical. There are 2 enormous murals by this guy, Leo, that have a lot of, environmental destruction, children rebuilding peace after war type messaging. Specifically, the famous Children of the World Dream of Peace. Peace. Even when you're walking through the airport, you'll see imagery of people in gas masks, animals in glass coffins, typical burning city things. And then there's the plaque, the dedication plaque that you would think would be listing the organizations that helped build the airport, the city of Denver or the state of Colorado. But no, the first organization listed is the New World Airport Commission. And of course, that phrase sounds a lot like New World Order, so that like tickles the taste buds of a conspiracy theorist. And it is kind of crazy because the New World Airport Commission doesn't exist. The plaque was just placed there with some help from some Freemasons, and the catch is that underneath of it is apparently a time capsule that's buried and scheduled to be open in 2094, or so the internet says. Beyond the art, there's the actual construction of the airport itself. During its construction, several underground structures were said to have been built, but then later abandoned, and nobody really knows why it was abandoned and what it was supposed to be for in the beginning. Due to construction issues, but instead of demolishing them, they just built on top of them. Which means that there might be somewhere beneath the airport where there are unused underground spaces. So much space. For what?
You may not be able to feel it right now, but just know that very soon you will start to see the impact of these prices. 2 weeks ago, I was paying less than $700 for a full tank. And now, 2 weeks later, we're up to nearly 1,000 and even over 1,000 in some places. So you may not feel it now, but just know you will feel it very soon.
I mean, how crazy is that, y'all? Just in your backyard and there's a damn alligator.
Big guy. And look at the birds. The bird is going right up to, oh my God, look at that.
You taking video?
Yeah. Oh, look. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That bird is backing him up.
Hey, are you taking video? Please God, tell me you are. Oh my God, I've never seen anything like that. Why? Why?
Whoa.
It's just in your backyard.
Here it comes, folks.
Thing's hauling
Dash
ass.
dot. Hi, over here. Wrong side of the road. Over here. Come over here. Folks. First
Taking
experience
over
with
jobs,
DoorDash
y'all.
dot.
Taking over jobs.
Hi. Hi. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Takes a lot of jobs, but it's awesome. Pizza. Do you gotta tip him? Do you have to tip him? No tipping. Life sucks for you, dude. Okay. Okay, close it. Okay. You know it's gonna take off. Bye. Bye-bye, DoorDash guy. See you around. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Here we go. You can go now. You can go now. You've been here too long. There you go.
That is crazy.
And
Is that real?
I want you guys.
Is that legit? But they're coming. They are coming because, and yeah, they're going to take a lot of jobs, but I know there's people putting their hands in your food, especially if you don't tip. They're taking something, y'all. If you're not tipping, especially if you get a big dinner for your family, you don't leave a tip. Like, you don't got to worry about that stuff no more. You don't got to tip. But I'm sure the prices went up, so you're still giving them that tip. It just doesn't say tip, right? Prices went from $5 a delivery, now they're $10, right? But I don't know. I don't know if that was legit or if that was AI. I'm not sure, but you got to see it coming. I know they're already doing it in cities, in big metropolitan cities.
Listen very closely. Do you hear this? This is what you want to hear. As long as you hear the frogs, the crickets, and all the insects, everything's all right. But the moment this stops, that's when you better watch out. That's when you better leave the area. Some people may find this annoying, but to those of us who live here, this is like music to your ears. If you guys remember the movie World War Z, when they explain that Mother Nature always has a weakness, it has a way it has to reveal its weakness. This is one for Appalachia. The mountains are scary, they're spooky, there are things out there, we know that. But this is one of its weaknesses. If this goes silent, if you don't hear this anymore, it's time to leave. Something very bad is going to happen. There's something in the area. Appalachia has rules. If you obey them, you'll be fine. If you don't, you may get lost out there forever.
You know, it's so crazy where I'm at now in Texas. You don't hear crickets. I don't even know the last time I've seen a cricket. Like in Arizona, they would be, you know, you go for a walk at night, they're everywhere on the sidewalks, you know, in the house, you know, there's crickets everywhere. There's no wildlife out here. I don't see quails. I don't see rabbits. I might see an occasional roadrunner, but there's just no wildlife, no coyotes. I've only seen, since I've been out here for 2 years, I've only seen 3 coyotes. One on the mountain, one crossing the street when I was driving, and one recently, like when I was driving at night, like I saw the tail of it run into you know, like the desert, like into a bush or something. But there's no wildlife out here. Like I don't even know if there's a lot of crickets still in Arizona. I was asking my mom, she's like, we don't really see crickets. Do you guys still see crickets? People that grew, like when you grew up, there's crickets. You hear them. You go outside to throw the trash at night, you hear them chirping. Like that's one thing I don't hear no more is the crickets.
States there's a bridge that, just by looking down, is enough to make many people turn their cars around. Not because the bridge itself is dangerous, but because the depth below is terrifying. The Rio Grande Gorge spans the Rio Grande Gorge, a basalt gorge formed by ancient volcanic activity. Approximately 650 feet above the river below, it was once the highest bridge in the United States when completed in 1965. Driving across, the view ahead seems normal, but a quick glance reveals a nearly bottomless vertical gorge. Many drivers describe the feeling as if the ground disappears beneath their wheels. The bridge is very sturdy, but the height makes those with claustrophobia or fear of depths feel dizzy. Their hands tremble and their hearts race. On windy days, the whistling wind through the railings only intensifies the feeling of unease. The Rio Grande Gorge Bridge is also known as one of the bridges with the highest number in New Mexico, making it both spectacularly beautiful and possessing an indescribable, gloomy atmosphere.
I just wanted to show real quick. something that I thought was unique. So in Russia, for us at least, we have two doors. Our interior door, which is still probably thicker than most people's American doors in the States. This is solid wood all the way through. But check out this exterior door to our apartment. You have what's pretty much like a bank vault door with multiple locks that you can use. Does anyone else have a door like this in America? Please let me know.
Check the way they act right when the president brings up the big one.
It carries a lot of weapons and there's a lot of bombs, but
Body language says it all.
It's very obvious there's some psychological problems happening right here. It's like they both just heard something they didn't really want to hear. Like, oh crap, it's getting real. By the way, I don't know if the media showed you, but Trump's saying a lot of good things about Iran.
much more. Only because people don't understand to a large, it's a big chess game at a very high level. It's a very high level chess, the highest. And I'm dealing with very smart players. These are smart people. They don't get there. You know, when you deal with some of these people, you're dealing with high level intellect, very high IQ people.
And that's not all. He said a lot of other nice things about Iran.
Iran is truly a nation of great terror and power. Look what happened in the last 2 weeks.
I wonder what's happening in the background. What do y'all think? Let me know.
Products that became successful because customers used them completely wrong. Listerine was originally marketed as a powerful floor cleaner and general disinfectant for hospitals and homes. But customers started using it as mouthwash during the 1920s.
It's crazy.
The company spent decades promoting Listerine as an industrial strength
cleaning
solution that could sanitize surfaces and medical equipment in institutional settings. When people began gargling with the antiseptic and reporting fresher breath, Listerine pivoted their entire marketing strategy and invented the concept of halitosis to sell their cleaning product as an essential oral hygiene solution. Play-Doh was developed as wallpaper cleaner to remove coal residue and soot stains from home interiors. During the era when coal heating created dirty wall surfaces, the moldable putty was designed to roll across wallpaper and absorb dark stains that regular cleaning couldn't remove from delicate wall coverings. When schools started using the non-toxic cleaning compound as modeling clay for children's art projects, the company rebranded their wallpaper cleaner as the world's most popular children's toy and creative medium.
I'ma just say it right now. Count me out. When you think these motherfuckers couldn't have one up, they always do. So these motherfuckers then built the world's longest undersea highway tunnel. And not only that, but it's motherfucking see-through. I don't know what motherfucker came up with this concept, but it does not look safe. You see motherfucking hammerheads and sharks and all different type of shit swimming right over your head. It only took China 4 years to build this motherfucker. This motherfucking tunnel stretches 6 miles long and is 33 feet wide. But not to mention that, it features 6 lanes going both directions. What the fuck? But this motherfucking tunnel has stunned engineers worldwide, saying that this motherfucker was impossible to build. Not to mention this motherfucker could stand a 8 magnitude
First and last
earthquake.
time we have
But
this
they
guy on
also
the
say
channel.
this motherfucker could withstand a 16 magnitude typhoon. All I'm gonna say, is you ain't gonna catch me on this motherfucker. Again, count me out.
Tupac got killed in 1996.
Makes
How
me
bad
so
did it
mad.
affect you when you heard?
Well, Tupac got killed, and I wasn't surprised, and that's sad because I think everybody kind of saw, like, how can this guy still be alive after he got shot the first time and the second time, and then now a third time?
Well, no, he got shot once. Well, there was another time he got shot?
Talking about besides the New York studio?
Well, there was the quad studio
Yeah.
shooting, and then, of course, Vegas. What was the third time?
There's actually another one. There's two more you don't know about. And got shot at. And
I heard about
skimmed.
that. Yeah, I heard about that. Skimmed. Okay, I didn't know that.
So it didn't go to, he went to the hospital for it, but wasn't life-threatening.
Okay.
So, could be even more, and I don't even know. But my point is that how can a guy have all these bullets flying at him and still, you know what I'm saying? We all kind of, it's a crazy story, and I got to really watch what I say on all this because I do know too much, and I'm not going to elaborate.
Fair enough.
So I let that unfold, and I'm glad it's unfolding, and I'm glad that some justice may be getting done, but it ain't going to bring him back, bro. And we lost a great person because of greed, money, power.
Always.
We lost a great poet. Not to drugs like the other people that we had been mentioning and stuff like that, but to a gun.
Yeah. Well, just recently, Keefe D got arrested for the murder of Tupac.
Yeah.
And I did the Keefe D interview 4 years ago, where I basically, how I say, solved the whole case. He told
You
the
were
whole
the one
story.
who did that. That's right. I saw that. I just now put that together. Glad.
Yeah.
I did see that. And
Right.
I was like, how did he incriminate himself on there like that, right? And then that's what led to opening up the investigation again, right?
It was a big part of it because, well, he had written a book. And I got the first interview with him based on that book, where I had him lay out the entire story from beginning, during, and after.
Good job, bro. You pulled it out. Good stuff, man. You know, everything leads to something, and what you did probably led to the opening of the investigation because, you know, LAPD don't want to open up some old file 30
Well, it's Las
years
Vegas
ago.
PD, actually.
It was Las Vegas, but you're right, Las Vegas. They don't want to open up a file 30 years ago, and why? Let it be gone. And I think they wanted the message to be saying, well, see, if you go out there and do gangbanging and do that, trying to leave a message, propaganda again through the news channels and shit, you know, that this is what happens if you go out and live a gangster lifestyle. You die, like Biggie and Tupac. That's not true. You know, it's not true. If it's true, then every gangster rapper would be dead, right? It's not true. Tupac, unfortunately, his talents were so great that too many people wanted to take a piece of him.
Yeah.
Too many people wanted a piece of that money. And I think it killed him.
Yeah, unfortunately. And then you were also friends with Biggie, who got killed 1 year later.
I was. Man, it's amazing how many friends I've lost.
About something I saw on TikTok that completely broke my brain. This wasn't AI. This wasn't a filter. It was a parrot, and it was transparent. You could literally see through its feathers, its body, even its internal organs. The bird looked calm, healthy, sitting on a man's hand like nothing was unusual at all. No glitches, no distortion, no AI artifacts. Just
Pretty dope, right? There you have it, y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. You know what to do. You made it this far. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Y'all, I got some good feedback on that dolphin episode. I was very nervous. Like, I was like, man, I hope this works. I mean, it didn't go get 1,000, 10,000 views, right? But it did good. It didn't do, out of my last 10 videos, it wasn't number 10, right? It was like number 5, number 6. So I'll take that, right? I will take that. That is a good start. It was barely the first video. Yeah, I'm working with somebody, but, you know, I got somebody else that reached out to me that used to do my thumbnails. And at first he said he couldn't do it. And then he came through and said, you know what, I can do it. So we're going to see how he does. There's just a language barrier because he's from out of the country, right? But I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited for this next chapter. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I did a deep dive on this whole dolphin situation that happened in Florida. Video is going to pop up over here. Make sure you guys click, go check it out. Let me know what you think, y'all. And more are going to come. I got one coming out tomorrow, hopefully. I got a deadline for tomorrow for the guy, and it's 4 conspiracies that ended up being true. So that's what we're doing on that. It's coming up on Thursday. Second channel, Segovia After Dark, link down below. Third channel, link down below. Email down below. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the Man Cave. I hope everyone out there has a good day. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow on the next one. Later.